Studio in Bristol. Breaking news just coming out that Conor McGregor, Frankie, suffered a broken foot during this fight and continued. And it's pretty clear to see how that could have happened because there was just constant leg kicks to the side of Nate Diaz's right leg. Did you think his game plan was on point?
Yeah, I think when he came out, he did exactly what he needed to do. He needed to be calculated and definitely keep that leg kick distance. And I believe he threw 20 leg kicks and probably broke his foot on one of them. But, yeah, I thought he picked his spots well, and like Gil was saying, he didn't let zap his energy too early on.
You never want, fighters to make excuses, and these two guys did not. Now, Nate Diaz did say in his post-fight interview that he had a bad rib, but he never said anything. Conor McGregor should have finished me off. Conor McGregor suffers a broken foot. When you hear those two things, does that take this fight to an even higher level than what we watched?
I think it does. If Nate kind of did look maybe a little flat at some points in that fight, and Conor maybe stopped throwing that leg kick because of his foot, and you give guys those tools back, the fight can only be better.
It came out before the fight that this was the highest base pay that the UFC has ever seen. Conor McGregor gets $3 million, Nate Diaz at $2 million, far more than that with the pay-per-view buys. It makes business sense to see this fight a third time. Why would Conor McGregor want to bring it down to 155 for people who may not understand that?
Well, Conor's the 45-pound champion, and, I think he's naturally probably a 55-pounder, along with Nate. They just really didn't cut weight for this fight. They're both probably naturally around 170, 175. They cut minimal weight to get down to the welterweight. At 55 is probably more natural for them, and I think Conor probably thinks he'll have more advantage down at 55.
Joe Rogan said before this fight that if Conor McGregor can perform like this, that not only he can get back the mystique he had before, but maybe gain some. What did you make of Conor McGregor not only standing there taking the shots, almost looking like he was going to get knocked out, and then come back and win this fight in 5?
Yeah, I think he proved a lot to a lot of people, including myself. You've seen his last fight, he kind of packed it in against Nate, got tired, and kind of, took a shot because he didn't want to get dropped, and kind of,
he gave
Nate the fight. And this fight, he back was against the wall. He got his second win and found a way to make it out with his hand raised.
When you have a fight like this, and for me, this is one of the greatest fights that I've ever had. You've had your wars as well. What can it do for both fighters to be able to walk out of a fight like this and say, you know what, not only we're going to do it a third time, but we're probably the two biggest names still, regardless of who won or lost?
Yeah, it's just a boost of confidence for both guys, knowing that they can put it in there, they put everything they trained for out in that cage. It's only the fans are just going to be screaming for that third fight. It's just more money for them, more eyes on them. It's just good for business all around.